So I set the strap up pretty firm but not overly tight. And that's a key for this technique that I'm going to show you. And I make sure that the release length is set up. See, this is just a little bit too long because it's a little too shallow on my finger. I want to set that up so that I can sort of wrap my finger around the trigger like this. Alright, so I'm going to shorten this up a little bit. I'll get my trainer and test out the length. Put a little pressure against it. Alright, that's still just a little bit too long. Shorten it up a little bit more. And see how simple that adjustment is? I can just grab that strap and just pull on it. That's pretty good. I'm going to shorten it up just a tad bit more. There we go. That's it. That's it right there. So now I'm going to take this buckle strap and just poke it back inside of here to make sure that it'll stay and it won't slip on me. Okay. Now here's how this technique works. I hook my finger around the release, and when I draw the bow, I keep my finger behind the trigger. I draw it and I anchor, and I'll get my finger out front and wrapped over the trigger. And it also helps to set the release a little bit stiffer than what you would normally shoot it, so you're not afraid to get your finger wrapped around the trigger. Now as I pull, notice that I'm holding the strap with this hand here. I wrap my finger over and then I'll let go of the strap, and then as I pull against the bow, that allows this finger to pull against the release without actually curling my finger against the trigger. What happens is when I pull against this strap, if I'm not holding the strap, my hand sort of retracts into the strap a little bit, which allows that finger, and you see the action of my hand here, that allows that finger to move backwards against the trigger. So I'll show you one more time. I'll actually pull it to an anchor so you can see how it looks. But I'll anchor in, I'll hook over, relax off of the strap, and then just pull. And then it fires. I use this same technique, and when hunting season gets close and I switch off of my handheld releases and go to a strap type release, I'll shoot my string over and over to reacquaint myself with the feel. You see how easy that is? The basic truth to this is that if you feel like you're working hard to shoot the release, you're not doing it right. It should be really easy. And if there's any reason that you're standing at full draw waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for the release to go off, there's nothing happening. Your hands aren't moving or your hands are too hard. So let down, soften your hands, remind yourself of the technique that you felt with the string, draw back to full draw, and then yield through the shot as you pull. Now, the yielding the shot with any trigger type release, whether if it's a hinge, a trigger, or a button, yielding on the release will allow that to fire.